What's up, y'all? I'm back. We here with another one, man. This is the Biblical Blueprint. It's your boy Ray. And you know what, man? Chapter by chapter, man. We going through this Bible, big dog. So, what we talking about today, man? We're talking about your character will be tested. Let me repeat that. Your character will be tested. Just thank you so much for tuning in this message, man. I hope that this message blesses you, man. So, I don't know if you've ever experienced, being punished for being too nice, or trying to help too many people out, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you got a good nature in you, it just seems like it may be, to your detriment, right? You're being too nice. You're too humble. You know what I'm saying? You're too good. You feel me? There are people that are going to hate that. There are people who are going to make you second guess. You know what I'm saying? Your actual good nature, regardless of whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're very, very good at complimenting people. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you just have a really perky attitude. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you don't get mad. People are going to test it, and you should be ready for the test, because all it does is just make it better. So we are in Genesis chapter 39. We're back on the story of Joseph. Joseph was sold into slavery by his own brothers. And what happens with slaves, right? Traditionally, only people with real money can afford slaves. Let me repeat that. Only people with real money can actually afford slaves. So, Joseph is bought by a very, very high-ranking general in the Egyptian army. His name is Potiphar. Let's find out what happens when Joseph is sold into slavery.
Genesis 39, ERV. The traders who bought Joseph took him down to Egypt. They sold him to the captain of Pharaoh's guard, Potiphar. The Lord helped Joseph become a successful man. Joseph lived in the house of his master, Potiphar the Egyptian. Potiphar saw that the Lord was with Joseph, and that the Lord helped Joseph be successful in everything he did. So Potiphar was very happy with Joseph. He allowed Joseph to work for him and to help him rule the house. Joseph was the ruler over everything Potiphar owned. After Joseph was made the ruler over the house, the Lord blessed the house and everything that Potiphar owned. The Lord also blessed everything that grew in Potiphar's fields. The Lord did this because of Joseph. So Potiphar allowed Joseph to take responsibility for everything in the house. Potiphar didn't have to worry about anything except deciding what to eat. Joseph was a very handsome, good-looking man. After some time, the wife of Joseph's master began to pay special attention to him. One day she said to him, "Sleep with me." But Joseph refused. He said, "My master trusts me with everything in his house. He has given me responsibility for everything here. My master has made me almost equal to him in his house. I cannot sleep with his wife. That is wrong. It is a sin against God." The woman talked with Joseph every day, but he refused to sleep with her. One day, Joseph went into the house to do his work. He was the only man in the house at the time. His master's wife grabbed his coat and said to him, "Come to bed with me." But Joseph ran out of the house so fast that he left his coat in her hand. The woman saw that Joseph had left his coat in her hand and had run out of the house. She called to the men outside and said, "Look, this Hebrew slave was brought here to make fun of us. He came in and tried to attack me, but I screamed. My scream scared him and he ran away, but he left his coat with me." Then she kept his coat until her husband, Joseph's master, came home. She told her husband the same story. She said, "This Hebrew slave you brought here tried to attack me, but when he came near me, I screamed. He ran away, but he left his coat." Joseph's master listened to what his wife said, and he became very angry. So Potiphar put Joseph into the prison where the king's enemies were held, and that is where Joseph remained. The Lord was with Joseph and continued to show his kindness to him. So the commander of the prison guards began to like Joseph. The commander of the guards put Joseph in charge of all the prisoners. Joseph was their leader, but he still did the same work they did. The commander of the guards trusted Joseph with everything that was in the prison. This happened because the Lord was with Joseph. The Lord helped Joseph be successful in everything he did. Genesis 39 ERV.
All right, so we're back. So now you see that Joseph is being tested twice. You know what I'm saying? People are testing his character regardless. And it's strange to see that each and every time that Joseph is put in a position, people trust him and they actually give him, you know what I'm saying, more than what he's supposed to. They always give him authority. You know what I'm saying? Remember, you know, if you've been following this channel, and definitely, you know, go back and check out some of my other messages, right? You know, his brothers got mad because he told them a story of them eventually bowing down to him, right? And it's because he's just a born leader. He has leadership qualities. And one of the leadership qualities he has is just his trust. You can trust Joseph around. Man, the general trusted him so much, he let him stay around his wife. That's how much he trusted Joseph. And, you know, we know the truth. He was so trustworthy to where the lady's still gonna lie and get him locked up. And what happens? He still becomes trustworthy. And he's so trustworthy that they even put him in charge of the prisons. Don't let your good character go to waste. Don't let the test, you know what I'm saying, take you away from your good nature. I will never forget that my good nature was tested at one point in time. It never really took me away from being nice. You know what I'm saying? I'm always just being a nice person. I realized that that's just in me. I should never stray away from it. Should continue to always be a nice person. I should never feel ashamed for being nice. I should never feel down for being nice. I think one of the things that tested me being nice is, I remember I've always had a pickup truck. Always had trucks, right? One day I'm getting gas and these guys was like, "Hey, can you give us a ride down the street?" You know what I'm saying? And just in the back of the flatbed, we just trying to get to the bus stop. Of course, I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm nice. I don't care. I'm not late. Like, I remember I was on my way to work. I wasn't late for work. You know, I had time. It was right up the street, right? These guys hop out the flatbed of my truck. Boom, boom, boom. I made, like it's a 4-lane. It was a 4-lane road, right? I made a left turn trying to get into the far lane to go back because I actually went away from the freeway and away where I was going. I was trying to make a U-turn to get back. As I was making a U-turn, I didn't look behind me, and this lady ran straight into me. And the people who were getting on the bus, all they could say was like, "Ooh." And I remember they disappeared. And I remember that was a situation where I was like, if I wasn't being nice, I wouldn't have gotten into this accident. And I remember I questioned myself for a while, about that. Like, why was I so nice? Like, how do you get in situations where you really trying to be nice and trying to help people, and you get put in situations where, something like that happens, right? I know I give a lot. I give a lot to where sometimes I look up and I'll be like, why am I broke today? And I think about all the things I've given to people, right? And what I realize is that I have to trust God is always with me. I remember I got into that accident I didn't have insurance. I didn't have tags. I didn't have nothing. But the cops let me go. I don't know why. Don't know why. You know what I'm saying? That was a situation where God was with me. And it was also like a wake up call to where God was like, hey, stop riding around, stop riding dirty. And I didn't heed that. I didn't heed that lesson. I just was like, why was I being so nice and I was doing this? It wasn't until I got older, and like how I said, like, I feel like I should have a lot more, right? But you probably wouldn't notice that if you're looking at this video. You probably look at this computer behind me that's probably worth a couple $1,000s. You know what I'm saying? This artwork is worth a couple $1,000s too. This camera that I'm shooting on is worth a couple, well, ain't a couple $1,000s, it's a couple hundred. You know what I'm saying? And I think it all comes from me giving to people, because a lot of this stuff was given to me. You know what I'm saying? And I've always never strayed away from my helpful nature. You can never, because you're going to be tested. And all you can do is just learn from the test and never let it change your character, especially when it's something good. Just imagine if, Joseph decided to become untrustworthy after that. Because, we just in the middle of this chapter. His story is going to get way more dynamic. I think I talked about it in one of the other videos. His story brings me to tears every time I read it, because it's so powerful. You know what I'm saying? There's a man who went through slavery and just, maintained his character regardless of what he was going through. Sold into slavery, going into jail. He always maintained his character, and it showed to where once he's going to get to the top eventually. I'm eventually going to get to the top being nice and helpful to people. I hope that this video is helpful to you. You know what I'm saying? The more helpful I am with my content, the more it's going to come back to me. That's the whole entire goal, and it's the whole reason why I do what I do. Don't let your character be compromised just because you're going through the test. We've said this several times before. The test is not to change you. It is to enhance what you already are. If you're a nice person and you're being tested and people are testing how nice you are, don't let it make it turn you into a bad person and turn it to where you can't be nice anymore. Learn how to be even nicer. If people are testing you because, hey, you give too much to others, and you don't have enough to show for yourself, don't let the test that you go through change you and change who you are. You know what I'm saying? If you're just a person who helps, and you put in a test where nobody's helping you, don't let that test change who you are. Let it enhance who you are, and let it enhance your character to where you look up and people are saying, you're the nicest person that I've ever met in my life. This guy is so helpful, because at the end of the day, the test is just making it to where you see the bad that people like, because there are people who are going to take advantage of you. You're going to see the people that are going to take advantage of your nice nature. All the test is going to do is help you see the people who are going to try to take advantage of you, and then also reach out to the people who are going to appreciate you for your nature, because that's what we just seen in this chapter. There's people who took advantage of his nice nature, but eventually he got to the people that he went from his brothers who took advantage of him. He got to the general's house, and his general's wife took advantage of him. And now he's in jail, and watch what happens after he gets out of jail. Man, keep chopping into my content. If you have a problem and you don't feel like you're just a good person or anything like that, you feel like you you're just going down in a downward spiral, and you just feel like you just have a cloud of negativity. Check out my website, themiracle.life, and do my program, The Miracle Blueprint. I promise you, if there's any negativity in your life, it will be erased within 40 days. And I guarantee it. I guarantee it that it will be erased within 40 days. Go to themiracle.life. Check out my program. And let's do the miracle blueprint, man. And let's build a miracle in our lives. Man, thank you so much if you've gotten this far. I hope this message helped you. And I hope they do more to keep helping you. You feel me? It's your boy Ray. And I'm out. I'll see you in the next one.